estoy aquí. Okay, thank you very much. I'm gonna make an effort, and I'm gonna try to do this talk through English. So it's a tribute to you guys that are traveling all the way to Spain. So thank you for being here, because it's a pleasure for me to be here in Spain and to see, how much people, and how, the importance of gamification in Spain and the way we are pushing up and following really closely this trend. So here's the point, something like 3 years ago, if this is working, we launched something called BBVA Game. Our approach was, and I'm gonna make it work. It's not working, okay? If you can help me, I'll proceed. Okay, so our goal was, something like 3 years ago, people from the innovation department at my bank went to the G Summit in San Francisco. And once they were there, they were like, listening about gamification, and they were like astonished. There was something, it's not working, okay. There was something behind this trend. There was something behind gamification that really, got really inside your tummy. It was like, hey, what is it about gamification that I don't know why, but I got the feeling that it's going to work. So our point was, we heard about gamification. These people came to me. I was working for the marketing department, digital marketing department, and I was like, I don't know, guys, but you're right. This is going to work, and I don't know why. But, again, it was a change of kind of intuition. People were feeling so strongly about gamification, and the funny thing about that is that 1 year after that, and thinking about, how can we approach this new trend, because we know it's going to be something powerful, in order to use it into a bank. Imagine, I'm talking about a bank, and I'm going to go through this logic chain. Banks deals with money. Money is something serious. Banks are serious. And game is, I don't know, but it was kind of weird. And I don't want to tell you now, so many anecdotes that I went through when I was explaining, this idea and our approach. Because our approach was using game mechanics and dynamics in order to create more engagement on the transactional websites. How many of you here, check your balance statement, your movements, or your bank accounts, bank transfer online? I guess something like, well, it's huge. It's huge compared to the average in Spain, because in Spain we've got something like, 2 out of 3 people in Spain connect to the internet on a daily basis. But compared to banking, only 1 out of 3 people in Spain connect with online banking. So our challenge was to use gamification in order to enhance the use of the website and to help internet banking users to help other users to learn and to teach, how to increase and how to take advantage of the website. So that was our approach. And when you've got a video, and sorry because the video is in Spanish, play video.
¿Sabes que hay un juego en el que ganas premios solo por usar bbva.es para realizar tus consultas y operaciones? Se llama BBVA Game y funciona así. Primero entras en bbva.es y haces clic en BBVA Game. La primera vez tendrás que registrarte con un apodo y un email. Una vez dentro, aceptas un reto. Lo realizas como te indicamos. Y celebras que acabas de conseguir puntos BBVA Game. Ahora tú decides qué haces con ellos. Puedes canjearlos por un premio directo, o quizá prefieras cambiarlos por participaciones para nuestros sorteos. Recuerda este consejo. Cuanto más juegues, más puntos consigues y, por tanto, más probabilidad tienes de resultar ganador. Y vuelta a empezar. Como ves, con BBVA Game, ganar premios es tan fácil como usar la web de BBVA para gestionar tus consultas y operaciones.
Okay, something like 200 years afterwards. I'm going to give you, and I really want to share with you all the different learnings, because I think it's the only thing I can show right now. And it's not happy everything. When it comes to talk about PBL doesn't work for us. Some tips works and other doesn't work. For example, if I have to think about the set PBL, points, and when I talk about points, I'm talking about the user challenges and rewards together using the link of points. It works. And I would say, the podium, it would be at the top. But if I think about budgets, I have to set budgets in the second place. And if I have to talk about leaderworks simply doesn't work for us. We've tried to use leaderboards, and I have to say that our profile of user is more close to the idea of achievers and killers. But the truth is, we've tried a lot how to use leaderboards, and I'm open to any conversation about people with great experiences, using leaderboards. But the truth is that, PBL is not working. It's not like a magic recipe, okay? Is everyone a gamer? No. Well, this is the real, split of female and female for the users. And I'm talking about, a base of players that is statistically significant. So having a look at this, you could say something like, well, gamification is not for everyone, but the truth is that it is, because you've got the demographics here. So gamification is for everyone. We've got something like 8% of the people over their 60 playing. And the amazing thing that it's not only for young people, because look at that, people over 30 and below 60 represent something like 3 out of 4. Which is something like amazing. It's for everyone. And I have to tell you something that is important here. If I think about gamification, and the way we were, at the beginning hearing about gamification and listening about the whole idea and the whole concept, lead us, all the people in the bank, to, one point in our lives when we were a kid. And I'm talking about, connecting with your the mammal part of your brain. Which means that you forget about, the rational part of your brain, and people get so passionate about the idea of using game mechanics. So the truth is, game is for everyone. Gamification, considering my approach and my learning, I think is a right approach for everyone. But you really have to keep an eye on that, because it's changing and it's not as engaging for everyone all the time. Is gamification about fun? And this is the overall discussion, I've been hearing about some comments about this is about fun. Of course, Brian Burke was talking about it's not about fun. Come on, guys, it's about motivation. And it's right, look at that. Look at the statistics, and I'm talking about more than 29,000 answers, which I think is more than representative. Makes BBVA.es, our transactional website, more enjoyable. And look at that overall satisfaction. I think it's motivating. People are willing to use the website and learn how to use the website in a more intensive way if you put some gamification ingredients in the way. More learnings. How do we keep the flow? I'm sure you all have, heard about the idea of flow by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. And, this kind of like difficult balance between boredom and anxiety. How do we keep that flow going? Well, my answer is the only way it works is if you feel passionate about setting the rules. And when I say you, is the guy who is, dealing with creating new game challenges and new mechanics and, having a look at revising communications. So as long as the team behind the gamified approach is engaged and passionate about the project, something mystic is created. More question. And how would we keep the flow? Regarding us, we're using more than 80% of the communication are automated. People dealing with the platform, whenever they do some things, we activate, direct communication to our customers saying, hey, we miss you. And using this kind of, dialogue and this style, which is kind of weird considering, that a bank is talking to you. This is not the same without you. This is what it says in this communication. How do we measure? Well, the tricky way about gamification, and I'm sharing with you guys, is you have to use is a kind of a complex set of game metrics, web metrics, and together you have to push up business metrics. As for us, I'm talking about frequency, challenges, I'm talking about virality, I'm talking about rewards, I'm talking about redemption. As for web metrics, I'm talking about user activity, return frequency, I don't know, instances on sections, video views, traffic channels, CTR, logins. But then you have to show to your company, real business goals and achievements. Think about return, think about user acquisition, because people don't speak the same language. I can say, that we are beating and we are getting this kind of like segment of players, but people in my company don't give a shit about that. They really want to see the numbers, big numbers. Imagine, talking about, game mechanics to people working in a bank. It's kind of weird. They really want to see the objectives. And how do we measure gamification? With a lot of curiosity, because those metrics simply don't work all the time. You have to drop some of the metrics, and you have to take another ones, and then you have to look for new ones, and then you have to mix different metrics, and you really have to keep an eye on that and be curious about how you're measuring the whole idea. And one game fits all. No, it's not our approach. We create the same game for everyone, and then, after 3 years, we're changing the game for young people, for employees, for people over 60, and we've got different challenges and different rewards for different segments. And still, I think we're missing something. How do you sell gamification to your organization? And I have to say that this is one of the questions that is kind of a repeated question. Well, I have to say that no way using gamification awards. And you feel really proud when you get, the first, when we went to the G Summit 2 years afterwards, we got, the best, the award for the best use of gamification and engagement techniques. But my organization or your organization don't really care about that. Well, I feel really proud that Brian Burke, was when he was going through his book Gamify, he was mentioning BB again, but still, your organization doesn't give a damn about that. The truth is, you have to show numbers, and when it comes to numbers, you have to feel about more than 1 million video views about how to use your website is numbers. When you're talking about being the number 2 bank in social audience in Spain, and you're talking about BBVA, you're not talking about ING or an online bank. This is something that it shows you that you've got a base on internet that you can transform into leads. We are talking about 3x click open email compared to other emails, talking about finance and classic products and services, banking services, and the last point, overall satisfaction 2x, which is amazing. Because people are engaged. And what about the ending? Well, this is another kind of like frequent question, And what about game over? The truth is, I've got this lovely quote by Heraclitus, and I think is, as long as you keep, the spirit, and as long as you keep yourself and your team and the people working with the game stick to the idea of being kids, everything is going to work. And I have to tell you something, and I'm really working really hard. That's one of the reasons why I'm in collaboration with the gamification reports. There is no ending for emotions. He's a lovely guy. This is Matteo. And the truth is that, if you get the key point to connect the emotions of your customers, and you create challenges, if you know how to click to the mechanics and the dynamics of emotion, I think you're getting, like you're getting to the key point of gamification. Well, this is where we are. We are here. And before, I've got 11 seconds, 10 seconds, 9 seconds. I'm going to take advantage, and this is something like the first rehearsal. I really want to show, BBVA Game 2.0. Okay, this is a new version. We're transforming gamification into an acquisition tool. Okay, video in, if possible, dentro video.
Si te gusta el fútbol, sabes que no hay nada más emocionante que vivir un partido en el campo. Estamos de acuerdo. Lo que no sabes es que ahora hay otra forma de sentir toda esa emoción, aunque estés en casa. Se llama Liga BBVA Game. Liga BBVA Game es un juego en el que puedes demostrar todo lo que sabes de fútbol. Puedes retar a tus amigos, retar a tus ídolos y pasar ratos llenos de emoción solo o con quien quieras, mientras te llevas premios directos y la posibilidad de ganar cientos de regalos exclusivos pensados para ti, que te gusta el deporte y la tecnología. ¿A qué estás esperando? Regístrate ahora, es gratis y solo te llevará 1 minuto. Además, podrás jugar en cualquier momento y aunque no estés en casa. Regístrate ahora en ligabbvagame.com.
Oops, this is not, I mean, it's not working at the moment. You can try, give it a try, but, please wait until next week. Problem with the IT department, But it's going to be okay next week, but it was expected to be for this gamification World Congress. The truth is, I'm not improving, the engagement among women. I know that using football, but football is big in Spain. My bank is linked to football, so I'm open to any ideas, and I really want to improve the part of, the female and engagement among women. So open to ideas. Thank you for your time.